You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrans for Black and White Sports. As you know on this channel, one of the people that we stay after, so to speak, is LeBron James. For a number of different reasons, one of which is his involvement with China, the NBA's involvement with China. The other is his false police brutality, police are hunting black people narrative, his support of a Marxist organization like Black Lives Matter, and being really vocal about it. And we have taken LeBron to task on a lot of different issues. Well, we've got a story here from the New York Post, the New York Post exclusive. We wanted to go over it on the channel, and it's pretty wild. As you can see, there's a billboard there with a Chinese flag, a China flag, over his mouth. That's LeBron James. Billboard company refuses to post ad critical of LeBron James' stand on China. This is extremely interesting. Shot blocked. A government watchdog recently tried to post a bold message on giant billboards during the NBA Finals about LeBron James' refusal to speak out against Chinese human rights abuse issues. But the sign was rejected by the sign company. The Virginia-based National Legal and Policy Center was poised to spend several hundred thousands of dollars on 5 billboard images showing the superstar with a Chinese flag covering his mouth and the message, quote, "Silence is violence." The billboards were set to display near the entrance to the NBA bubble near Orlando, Florida, where James' LA Lakers are battling the Miami Heat for the NBA championship. But Outfront Media refused to put the ads for fear of upsetting the famously outspoken James, according to an email from the company viewed by the Post. Quote, "We cannot accept the ad as it is right now," wrote the rep for Outfront, adding that the company would only put up the billboards if the NLPC agreed to remove the baller's image. The Chinese flag is okay. The silence is violence is okay. But the conservative think tank is standing its ground. Quote, "Some messages are too important to be suppressed," said Peter Flattery, chairman of the NLPC. Quote, "When it comes to human rights in China, silence is indeed violence. We should be able to call on LeBron and his hypocrisy without this censorship. Call it out, in other words." James, who often speaks out about race and police brutality in the U.S., came under fire when he criticized the Houston Rockets general manager, Daryl Morey, for expressing his support for pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. Quote, "I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation," James said at the time. The comments sparked outrage among Hong Kong protesters, but were praised by Chinese Communist officials. Imagine that. James has a lifetime endorsement deal with Nike, whose Chinese-made products in his name have brought in hundreds of millions of dollars. James, whose net worth is $400 million, reportedly bought a $36 million mansion in Beverly Hills. The NLPC says James has been silent about the Chinese slave labor that makes the basketball legends Nike sneakers, which retail for $200 a pair. The NLPC went back to the drawing board and came up with different versions of the ad, but those two were met with rejection and then silence from Outfront, the media company. "They just stopped returning our calls and emails," said Tim Kramer, executive with operations at Mosaic, an LA-based advertising firm that created the ads. quote, they thought they were singling him out and were afraid that the ad would hurt LeBron's feelings. But we never were going after LeBron, the person. We are going after LeBron, the brand. Okay. And I got to be honest with you. I sort of differ there. Look, if LeBron is going to be so outspoken about every issue there is out there, but he refuses to come out and condemn this, not only that, but look, it's widely known that there are Chinese concentration camps over there. Let's be honest. Modern day Nazis, okay? There's Chinese concentration camps over there because of quote unquote religious differences with different factions of the people. They've got what they call re-education camps, okay? And it's widely and probably accurately known that Nike products may be made in some of these camps. But yet the NBA will not come out and condone this. Look, people are thrown in trains. Their heads are shaved. It is some repugnant, true human rights violations. And the NBA is in bed. The NBA looks even worse because recently, I believe it was one of the English Premier teams, completely severed their ties with the Chinese because of some of these human rights issues. And evidently it cost the soccer club millions and millions of dollars in revenue. But they did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. Well, now we're seeing the fallout from that, even with the NBA ratings. Look, make no mistake. Black Lives Matter is absolutely part of it. Kneeling for the national anthem is absolutely part of it. But the relationship between the NBA, LeBron James, and China is also a massive part of the fan base throwing up the deuces and walking out on the NBA. We don't believe in these human rights violations at all. Never mind LeBron James running his mouth about all these false social issues. And let's not forget the sheriff calling him out, matching the reward money on the LA deputies, and him being quiet. A man that has run his mouth about everything remains silent. In fact, it seems like anything that's actually good, anything he could bring to the table, LeBron James could bring to the table as a person that would be good and productive, he can't seem to open his mouth on that, especially if there's a dollar figure involved. The reward money, all his Nike money. All the while, you just bought a $36 million mansion in Beverly Hills. I'm telling you, LeBron James, in my opinion, in the comment section, you LeBron James supporters, you can tell me I'm wrong. I don't really care. LeBron James has destroyed his legacy in the last probably year, but especially the last 6 months to 8 months, 9 months. When he started that with Daryl Morey, who, by the way, I promise is much more educated than you, LeBron James. Daryl Morey knew exactly what he was talking about, and he was accurate. LeBron James has destroyed his legacy. I have said he is the most hated entity in all of sports now. Tell us what you think, black and white sports fans. We wanted to bring this to you. We thought this was wildly interesting. Peace. We're out. Hit subscribe. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.